Hello there, this is Through Spades and welcome back to another Rogue Planet 2 devlog. This is devlog 20, and today I've got another pretty awesome underwater map. Actually got a few awesome underwater maps, and I'm going to show them to you today. I've also got a couple of other new maps, and some other cool tricks that I'm going to show off. So, let's start with Atlantis here. This is a zombie version, or at least will be the zombie version of the Santa Fe map. Alright, get that set off. Now, performance is probably going to be a little screwy on this, but you're going to see why in a minute. We have absolutely massive schools of fish swimming up above you. And, very sparkly sunlight from up above. I was inspired to kind of make this map off of a default Windows 10 wallpaper of all things. I could have easily just made it like at night or something, but you know, where's the fun in that? If you could do an ocean with a giant, giant fish particles, well, you know what I'm going to do. So instead of the fiery light machine guns, there are now the Patriots. Quite a lot of Patriots. Now this map still needs some optimization, but the Patriot works as seen in the 4th of July video. I've also done some work to the heads-up display. It's all on the right side now, and that's pretty awesome. The menu also looks different. I've given it a new font. It's the same font and kind of scaled a little differently from the main menu, but you can go here, you can see all your controls and all that is now using the old, the new font. The old font was kind of like Windows 8, so. The thing about Windows 8 in my eyes was like they clearly had a more finished version of that. It was an Xbox 360, new Xbox experience. They just put a bunch of cool dots everywhere. It's called Fruitiger Metro. It's pretty nice. I'm surprised they don't use that anymore. So, you know what? Fuck it, I will. So now I'm currently spawn trapping the enemy team who's coming out of one building. So now now locked down the map pretty thoroughly. That's something I need to work on. It's like some barriers in the middle there, so I can't do that. But like I said, this is still work in progress. But my intention is to have absolutely massive schools of fish up there. They're all swimming around while you're duking it out down here on the ocean floor. Need to probably change this plane to a crashed boat or something, but I'll see. But yeah, there's going to be zombies running around down here too. It's going to be pretty awesome. Probably need to lower the amount of machine guns so performance is a lot easier to manage, but so you can kind of see the map's it's all here pretty much. Just needs some more optimization work. So, that aside, I do have another map. A couple of other maps, actually. I'm going to show you Great Hall. And there's something else I found that's pretty cool. Thanks to Thread Interactive for this find. He was able to determine that you could make FXAA look really sharp if you were to go into the shader files of Unreal Engine 4 and turn the subpixel value to 0.0. Now apparently this is like a blur filter that tries to hide any issues with, I don't know, like artifacts or something, but all it does in practice is make it look blurry. So this looks a lot sharper now, and you'll see it when the actual game is out, because on YouTube it's just kind of whatever, but when I actually do like a proper playtest or something for this, you'll see. you'll be looking at that and I'm like, oh damn, that's FXAA? That's pretty impressive. It kind of looks more like SMAA, or I want to say like MSAA 4 times. It still has some anti-aliasing artifacts. It's not perfect, but it's just a blur filter, so it's kind of impressive for that. Anyway, I'm going to get him with the nuclear gun. There's a few other guns around this map as well. This is the throne room, because if I had the arena for the castle, well, I figured I should make the Great Hall. So here is Sin. Spite and Tragedy will probably be around here somewhere, but you'll have to say for yourself when that happens. Got him. And this is based off of the Latin definition of sin, as in to draw a bow. Well, I don't exactly have a bow, but I do have a sniper rifle, so I guess that works. Got him. Nuclear power is also just fucking overpowered, so that's why there's like only 8 of them. There is no ammo, so finders keepers. But yeah, there's a few weapons that are scattered around the map. Big bookshelves that are toppled over, books all over the floor. Big stained glass windows. Big god rays coming from the heavens. And these aren't volumetric clouds, it's actually just a 2D scrolling texture. A couple of 2D scrolling textures, actually. Because I wanted to have clouds, but I didn't want to do volumetric clouds. So it turned out I could just straight up borrow the same technique that Quake did with the texture. That's just animated. Somebody had made a blueprint for that, so that was pretty handy. And it's not the only place I've used that technique on. But I'll give you a little tour throughout. That's the top of the map there, kind of the top rope, if you will, of the ring. It's a fairly large-scale map, too, so there are some long-range encounters in this game. This would probably be like an old-school Battlefront 2 styled map. You got your Jedi Temple of sorts in scale, roughly. But you can go through here. There's some backward bits behind the stairs. And you can't shoot up there too much. You can still, you know, like throw your grenade, roughly, but probably not going to hit up there. So some maps do have ammo crates, some do not, and that's a, you know, deliberate design decision when I'm giving you a pistol that can one-shot people, that glows in the fucking dark. There are also some other pistols, I think, around here. Sorry, I just had to quickscope that guy. Oh. Well, there is another pistol right there, but that's not the one I'm talking about. I think it might have been on the other side. I might have just forgotten to straight up, like, add them to both sides, but kind of inspired loosely by Monty Python's Holy Hand Grenade, I've taken the liberty of adding a Holy Hand Gun. I need to find out where I put it. It's probably over here. Come on. Where'd I put it? Nope, not there. But I have made some new weapons, and I'm going to see if I can scatter them around another map. Next map I'm planning on doing is like a city, and then there's going to be an underwater variant of that city. Now you might ask, like, how the fuck are they breathing underwater? Well, there'll be maybe a story explanation for that later, but me personally, I think that idea from Harry Potter, where Neville gives Harry like some fucking magic mushrooms and he can turn into a fish, was pretty cool. What if the army used that? Because these diving suits could be kind of expensive. Oh yeah, it was right here. So here's the Holy Hand Gun. So this one is also really overpowered. As you can see, it's got 100 bullets per magazine. It's basically like a fucking SMG. And it's got this alien sight on it. So you grab the holy handgun. It also has a golden suppressor. Oh yeah, that's another thing. If you use a suppressor, they can't hear you, so they don't immediately come to shoot you. But, well, the more you know. So, here we go. Just whacked them too. Might need to give this one a buff, but anyway. 420 blaze it. So, we've got all kinds of cool architecture in here. I'm going to show you the zombie variant of the Great Hall map, that being the Great Fall. So, let me get that sorted here. Now, there was a bit of a frame rate loss when I had a bunch of shadows enabled on the shelves, so I went through and disabled a lot of the shadows on the shelves and the books, and that boosted the frame rate by about 30. So when I'm not recording, it does have a frame rate of about, I want to say like 140, sometimes 150, though it's obviously going to vary. It kind of varies from about 90 to like 140 sometimes, but thanks to this FXAA tweak I'm using, these rails especially look much sharper. Also, there's our Mk.2 buddies. It's not affiliated with Star Wars or Bionicle, but you get the idea. I'm just joking around. Fucking Bionicles. Anyway, we got big ass fucking schools of fish up above, and a bunch of algae. So I've turned the Great Hall into a fish tank. As you can see, all of the glass has gotten a little dark on us. It's all dirty. And another cool thing I found while I was poking around with some Unreal stuff was parallax occlusion mapped like cement. And there's this octagon pattern. Oh yeah, these guys are coming for me. Well, actually they are now. Uh-oh. Shouldn't have pestered them too much. Alright, let's try this. Alright. I have my valiant getaway. So, around here, there are the holy handguns. I probably need to remove them for this version of the map, but as you can see, there's parallax mapping all over this. And a bunch of more fog. Full of, like, moving textures and stuff. And the fish are all swimming up there, up above. I figured it'd be pretty cool as a effect. You need to counter Jack Frost with his frost gun. He used the radiation gun. But yeah, we got all kinds of cool stuff here. And this effect looks really nice, I think, because it makes it look a lot more 3D than it is. I also put it on the walls and a few other areas. Yeah, I think that's the gaggle trying to get hammer or something, so I'm going to just pop on down here. And that is one reason why I don't do as many invisible walls as a game like Call of Duty, because without the, you know, cool flanking routes and other cool shit, like, what do you really have left to do? You just run in a straight line and then you die. That's super boring. Meanwhile, here, I'm running for my life. I gotta hope nobody shoots me. At least not in time for me to shoot them. Then I gotta run away from zombies. But yeah. You can get on the shelves too. They're kinda clueless. But, yeah, you could totally do shit like that if you wanted. You could grab a spot up here and fucking camp. Break out of my maps. It's fun. I do it myself. Get wrecked. It's a little dark up here, though. So, you do so at your own risk. But yeah, toppled over shelves, the big throne of lies. Pretty cool. So, let me show you a couple of the new guns I'm making. Now, these are, let me see here. Yes, the Luty. So this is based off of Expedient Homemade Firearms by a British guy. The Luty SMG. Now, this was a gun that was like improvised off of, you know, Home Depot parts, basically. Some guy made a weapon. And the British government fucking threw him and his entire family in jail. So, that is why Land of the Free won the war. I'll tell you that. Anyway. This here is kind of the rough Luty Mk.2. It's a MP5-ish kind of weapon that is made from scrap metal and uses the name of Luty Mk.2 in honor of the man who was railroaded by the system and fucked up, imprisoned, and died of cancer. So, guns out of political protest, improvised weapons by rednecks. You can imagine a few rednecks in Rogue Planet here taking it upon themselves to make their own homemade weapons. Probably steal some based off of what the cops were using. So in that case, the SWAT using MP5s. So here's another gun. This is like an improvised 4-bore rifle that converts a 50 cal round to a 4-bore round, which is a really big fucking round. But as you can see, it's kind of rusty as shit, so it's not reliable. Or at least it's not made to be. It's not made to last very long. Like, it's kind of just... the caliber of the bullet is not designed for this gun, so it's very, very makeshift. But even still, my improvised weapons, I didn't want it to look like Mad Max, so there's still a certain amount of sleekness to this. It's just kind of like a brown skin all over that, but... You'll notice how I've at least attempted to make every weapon have a distinct color palette and stand out from each other. And I find that's helpful. I don't want to exactly say, like, you know, copy the whole design language from, say, Team Fortress 2 or something, but there were good, you know, examples from that I felt were helpful. Like, you know, you want to actually make it so you can distinguish which weapon is what at a glance, roughly. And I feel like using colors to help discern between that is helpful. Like, immediately you're going to know which pistol this is if you see the fucking spooky green glow around it versus whatever else it be. Like, that looks a lot different than old Sin over here. You can immediately tell which is which. But yeah, that sort of helpful design tools, roughly. So there was that, and I think that's it, really, aside from some minor tweaks to shadows here in Camelot and a few other maps. I'll see if I can show off the anti-aliasing improvements, because it was a minor tweak, but it really did help a lot. So, big thanks to Thread Interactive on finding that one. He found, like, some papers by the guy who made the FXAA 3.11 shader that Unreal Engine 4 uses. He even talked about how there was like a fourth canceled one that they were going to use, which included a bit of temporal effects, but now you might be able to see, I don't know if YouTube compression is going to fuck this up too much, but now the actual trees do have a lot more clarity than they used to, and now they kind of have the ashes. You can see a lot more ashes on screen. They sparkle quite a lot more, especially kind of at a rougher distance like this, like a farther distance away. And since most of these objects were already like cast in shadow, I disabled the cast shadows on most of them, but I guess they still cast shadows, so I don't know. Unreal Engine is weird sometimes. That being said, performance still is not terrible. It seems to mostly hold up about 80 to 90 frames a second when shit gets hectic in here. As for just, you know, at the outside of the map, it's usually about 100. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, minor improvements to anti-aliasing. This game should look super smooth in motion. And you'll get to see that when I get to that. But oh yeah, that's another thing I've done. Kill quotes. There's 100 kill quotes that I've added. So if I die, I'm going to show you a few of them. You've just been erased. So that was another thing I wanted to do, was add the kill quotes from campaigns and stuff. Like, soldiers stand against their enemies, but ghosts haunt them. It's a Call of Duty Ghost reference from the trailer. Get wrecked, bitch. Some of these are funny. These were fun to write. And there's other ones that are kind of spooky, like, are you still having fun? Or do you still feel like a hero? Remember, it's just a game. It can't hurt you. Because I'm still kind of going off roughly the whole horror vibe from the first game. Like, the whole, like, horror aspect is still carried over here. Like, that shit doesn't go away after the first game. There's also, you know, little messages like that. It's like, hey, don't kill each other. Thank you. You are dead. Anyway. Grenade. There's also a reference to the first video on this YouTube channel. You are dead, dead, dead. There's also just little fourth wall breaks like that. He didn't have a family. He only existed in this purgatory with you and I. So yeah, there is a ton of death quotes. I'm going to blow myself up with the grenade here a few more times. This isn't your fault. It says as I've blown myself up intentionally with a grenade. But anyway. So yeah, you'll be able to explore a lot of these later on when the game is ready for a proper playtest. But there is 100 of them, so that's going to be pretty cool for you to go around and explore. So I'm looking forward to seeing which ones people like. They'll probably just like one that says "Get wrecked, bitch," and that'll be it. That'll be the only one they put in the artwork section or whatever. But yeah, cool ass effects that I've got working a lot better now. The game looks a lot sharper. Runs about the same, thankfully, so it didn't degrade the performance by much, if any. So yeah, I guess that'll do it here for now. Thanks for watching.